So I'll ask the question, what do you think men want in women?
I think that the masculine realm that we operate in is based on respect. I think that men are constantly looking for a way to be respected. I think the world is hyper competitive and we're constantly always looking for status amongst our peers. This is why you will see a man give up his basically entire life to do something which will only gain him respect, even in a very small sphere. So if I had to build the ideal woman who could get any man on earth, what she would have to do is understand that I need to give my man as much status and as much respect as possible. I, by extension of him, being next to him, need to make him look respected. But the hidden actual message behind all of it is that men are constantly looking for status and respect. And a woman who makes her man feel respected, not only from her, but from his peers, is the kind of woman a man's never going to want to lose.
Men don't care about women's money. We don't care about women's competence. We don't care about women's height. We don't care about all the things that you care about in a man. Attraction isn't symmetrical, it's asymmetrical. You became the man that you want, so all these other guys that you're meeting, they don't qualify for you. But the only guy that did meet your standards, guess what? You didn't qualify for him. I'm looking at you and I'm saying, you know what? You could hit the gym.
Just to lose weight. I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm 6'4", he's 5'8". But you said that he's disqualified because he's 5'8".
I didn't judge his character.
But you judge his height and he doesn't qualify for you. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for.
Give me a second. He's just...
I was never speaking down on you. I was speaking to the queen in you. The man, he has a fool in him, but he also has a king in him. And that woman should always speak to the king in him. A woman has a fool in her, but she also has a queen in her. Me speaking to the fool in her would have been, you just as good as...
For most men, respect is the one non-negotiable in relationships. It's not about status symbols, six-figure salaries, or who's taking out the trash. It's about being valued as a person. But let's be real. Some modern women seem to have missed that memo entirely. There's this growing perception that many women treat respect as an optional extra, dishing it out only when it's convenient or worse, when there's something to gain. This disregard cuts deep, leaving men feeling unacknowledged, like they're just placeholders in relationships that supposedly emphasize equality. The irony is rich. When men choose to back off, tired of feeling undervalued and disrespected, they're the ones painted as the problem, like they're disrupting the delicate ecosystem of modern dating by not just getting with the times. As if deciding they deserve basic respect suddenly makes them the villain. This disconnect boils down to changing social dynamics and often conflicting priorities, where respect has somehow become a forgotten language. But here's the kicker. Respect is a two-way street. If relationships are going to be anything more than just empty titles and Instagram posts, both men and women need to bring it back into the equation, unapologetically. After all, if respect's not in the mix, what's even the point?
No! What?
Jennifer Gilbo riding in Shoel Mahmoud's car when out of nowhere she appears to snap, lunging at the Uber driver, dousing him with pepper spray. Shoel picked up Jennifer and a friend on West 46th Street, but when they got to 65th and Lex, things quickly went south early Wednesday morning.
What?
Shoel insists he hadn't said a word to the ladies. The other passenger appears just as stunned.
Jen, what?
Repeatedly asking her friend why she was doing this, Jennifer would only say,
Get him out.
Get him out. In the first few seconds, Shoel tells me he tried to get out, but his seatbelt was on. Police did arrest Jennifer. She's charged with assault and now has a lawyer who at this point is not commenting.
Justice has been served.
Outside is only dangerous because of men, which is true. Statistically, violence, men.
But that isn't true. Let's get to the root cause of things. Manipulation happens when you focus on the effects and you don't go to the calls. So the root of it is that without a man and you were just here, you would have been eaten by a lion, a tiger, and bear. And guess what? If the lions and tigers and bears didn't get you, you wouldn't have the ability to gather enough calories for you to last. Because a woman can't manipulate the world how a man can. So let me explain to you how a world would operate with only women and only men. When men get together, we know, oh, he's stronger here, he has this skill here, he got this. Let the best person work this skill, and that creates a hierarchy from top down. When a woman get together, what you think about, you're all emotional. So you're tiptoeing all the time, and you're looking at the sensitivity levels in this woman and that woman because you know that you are sensitive. So what you do is you start looking at everything in an egalitarian sense to equalize everything. You get two, you get two, you get two, you get two. The men don't operate like that. Did you do enough to get two? If you ain't do enough, you're not getting two. You get zero. Put in that work and then you get that. This is why on the survival series, men, they was cleaning water fast, building fires fast, because they created that hierarchy. They put the best person in position first. The women, they was trying to do everything equal and by committee, so they couldn't create any order and any structure. The world wouldn't be safer without men. Nature killed more people than any wars and anything you could never imagine. And men, we built infrastructure to protect the woman from nature.
Just take a look at this evolving story called Female Fugitives. Why is pink-collar crime on the rise? And I think you'll see what I'm getting at here. Of course, it starts by punching at men, but now even the feminist media can't ignore the facts. Men commit more crimes than women do, a lot more. This holds true over time and across cultures. In America, the incarceration capital of the world, more than 2 million detainees, males comprise 93% of the prison population.
These numbers, they just don't add up.
Men also account for 73% of all arrests and 80% of those charged with violent crimes. This disparity between the sexes is particularly stark when it comes to murder. 90% of the time, the ones who do the killing are men. All these numbers add up to what criminologists call the gender gap. But
here we go.
Read enough academic journals and government crime reports and some curious facts emerge. While crime rates in the Western world have steadily declined over the past 3 decades, the number of young women being convicted for violent crimes in some Western countries has increased significantly. Law enforcement records indicate the opposite is true for their male counterparts. In other words, the gender gap is closing.
Why?
In some UK cities, the number of female arrests increased by 50% from 2015 to 2016. That's more than a blip. A 2017 report by the Institute for Criminal Policy Research at Birkbeck, University of London, came up with this sobering data point. The global female prison population has surged by more than half since the turn of the century, while the male prison population increased by just a fifth over that same period. Women and girls may account for only 7% of all incarcerated people today, but their numbers are now growing at a much faster rate than at any time in recorded history. Well, would you look at that? Turns out that when women are thrown into the lion's den that men have scrapped in for centuries, suddenly the demands and the pressure that comes with them make them not just as reckless, but more than we ever were. If male crime rates spiked like this over such a short period of time, the global media frenzy would be all over it. Titles like The Disease of Masculinity or Why Women Are Needed More Than Ever would be in circulation for weeks. Now, part of that just has to do with the potential men have when they put effort into something. But the real reason we don't hear about these stats is that women continue to be coddled as if they still don the apron and make pancakes in the morning. Much of Western society still sees the innocence of the kinds of chicks people would see in the 1920s. But we're not dealing with flapper girls and risque ankle photos anymore. The women of today don't even resemble what they continue to pretend to be in the public eye.
Hi, ma'am. Do you have stuff in your coat right now? Employees said they saw you stuff from your basket into your jacket.
No, I just put all my stuff back because I was supposed to meet my other half here and he never showed up. I just tried calling him, actually.
Okay, so if we search your jacket, we're not going to find any items? I'll give you an opportunity right now to take everything out. But it's going to be your one and only opportunity.
Okay, fine. I have a hat and gloves.
All right, there we go.
It's just cold outside. I don't have any money and I just want a hat and gloves.
You don't have hat or gloves? I'll buy these for her.
Thank you. Are you serious? Thank you.
But don't do this, okay? I know it's tough, but there's other ways. Call us for help, all right?
Oh, sure, when a man does it, it's smutty. But if a woman did it...
So who's the head honcho here? You tell me! Come on, kiss me! Kiss me! And tell me who's the head honcho here! What, I'm not hot enough for you? I'm not hot enough? I'm not sexy enough? I'm just spit on you! Tell me I'm fucking hot! Tell me I'm fucking sexy! Tell me! Tell me! Tell me!
Something is wrong with you!
Jennifer Gilbo's outrageous pepper spray attack on an Uber driver shines a light on an issue that's rarely addressed: the increasing trend of female criminal behavior. This isn't just a one-off case. It's part of a bigger, disturbing pattern that goes against the old-school belief that women are somehow naturally inclined to be gentler. If anything, incidents like this expose a brewing problem where certain individuals, fueled by radicalized misinterpretations of feminism, act as though men are disposable obstacles rather than partners or allies. This twisted view doesn't just strain relationships, it obliterates the basic respect required for any real connection. Let's be clear, feminism was never supposed to be about tearing men down to lift women up. True feminism is about balance, equal respect, and a recognition of each other's strengths. But when feminism is hijacked by those who use it as a weapon for superiority and hostility, we're left with division, not unity. And it's a division that's driving a huge wedge between men and women. So what's the solution? It's time we get back to basics. Respect and equality aren't negotiable. They're the foundation for building a decent society. Forget the radical posturing. Real progress comes from working together, not tearing each other down.
By saying, most people don't realize it, but they probably are neighbors, co-workers, friends, or acquaintances with either a pink-collar criminal or someone who has been embezzled by a pink-collar criminal. A pink-collar criminal can be a PTA mom, your dentist office manager, and yes, even someone's grandma. The statistics on pink-collar criminals are alarming. According to the FBI, male embezzlers have increased only 4% since 1990, while pink-collar criminals have increased over 40% during that time period. While the rise in crime on the side of men and possible reasons can be negated by population growth and other common factors, a 40% increase can't. It's a development that would make any rational person look over the data and do everything they can to understand why this has been so significant. But, as I said, the media turns a blind eye to this stuff because it doesn't serve the message that women are naturally pacifists, devoid of violence or corrupt intentions, even if the evidence is replayed constantly all around us.
Anybody else realize that children born in 2023 potentially live to see the year 3000?
Right now, it seems like everyone's walking on eggshells around her, too afraid to call her out on her behavior. Why? Because her fury is so intense that people just sidestep her altogether, hoping they can dodge the next outburst. This avoidance tactic isn't helping anyone. If anything, it's just letting her actions go unchecked while everyone else suffers in silence. It's classic. She knows her anger intimidates people, and because nobody has the backbone to stand up to her, she's got free rein to keep acting out. People think confronting her is a gamble, so they take the path of least resistance, which only feeds the cycle. Once the backbone of positive social change, it's disappointing to see some modern women stepping back from actively contributing to a better society. They have vast potential to shape communities through creativity, leadership, and empathy, qualities that have driven progress time and again. Yet now, instead of channeling that influence, a few seem to have chosen the path of self-interest, leaving the heavy lifting of societal progress to whoever else will step up. Let's be real. When women prioritize self over collective growth, it doesn't just slow things down, it breaks the collaborative spirit that communities rely on. Society needs both men and women to show up and bring their unique strengths to the table. The biggest challenges we face demand teamwork and shared values, not a retreat into personal gain. Instead of focusing on divisions or distancing themselves from responsibilities, today's women could be embracing their power to unify and uplift. Their contributions are as critical as ever for a balanced, thriving society. By stepping up and actively participating, they can reignite that spirit of progress and community building, something we desperately need to keep moving forward together. Instead of focusing on divisions or distancing themselves from responsibilities, today's women could be embracing their power to unify and uplift. Their contributions are as critical as ever for a balanced, thriving society. By stepping up and actively participating, they can reignite that spirit of progress and community building, something we desperately need to keep moving forward together. Divorce hits men like a freight train, rocking their emotional, financial, and social stability. For many, it's a seismic upheaval, triggering isolation, a sense of loss, and sometimes an outright reevaluation of their place in relationships. Meanwhile, some women seem to breeze through divorce as though it's a trendy self-reinvention, out with the old, in with the new, empowered ideology. Sure, it's empowering for some, but from a guy's perspective, it looks like they're walking away without batting an eye, leaving men with the emotional cleanup. This disparity in how divorce is handled strikes a nerve. Watching women seemingly dust off their hands and move on can deepen the sting for men. It makes them cautious, even wary, about venturing back into relationships. Who wants to sign up for round 2 of potential financial strain and emotional turmoil, all while worrying about a lack of accountability or reflection from the other side? If relationships are going to survive post-divorce, both men and women need to face the hard truths about what divorce really entails. It's not just a fresh start. It's a lesson in mutual understanding, open communication, and respect. Without those, any new connection risks being haunted by the same unresolved fears and old baggage, setting up a repeat performance nobody wants. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.